Hey guys, welcome to today's video. We've got a story time today, and the story is The Night That Everybody Forgot. It's a story from me and my mates around Christmas time a few years ago, and I hope you enjoy. Thanks for clicking the video, and remember to drop a like if you like the video. Thank you very much, and have fun. So, it was a night not far from where we are now in the year, around December, Christmas party time. That's what we go for, and that's what we like. However, there's also times for friends to get together. I'm not going to name any of these friends, because if they see this and they were named, they're gonna fucking hate me. They're gonna kill me. But we were going out that night, but I also had my Christmas do with my long time work that I've still work for every now and again, but on a freelance basis. I would say that most of the people I worked with here were family, or at least as close as I could imagine to family in a workplace. Now, we went out for a nice meal and had all drinks and food paid for. So, I had a fair few rum and cokes at the meal, like 4 or 5. Nice doubles, hit very nicely, with very fancy meal. And then we were coming back into town in High Wycombe. Now, it took about 40 minutes to get there. I got to the club first, and so I was waiting outside for a bit. They all turned up about 10 to 15 minutes later, and it turns out they were pre-drinking fairly heavily compared to what I was. Now, that's all well and good. Glad to get on the pie, but it means I had to catch up when I got in. Now, there was 5 of them meeting me, and then when we went in, I was like, I have to catch up. So I did a couple of Jaeger bombs, and all was right with the world. I'm on a level. Now, when we got in, it only took about half an hour for things to start going somewhat wrong. Now, a few of my school friends had turned up, so I chatted to them for a second and went back over to the people who I went out with. At which point, one of my friends said I need to go for a walk. And I was a bit like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? He was like, I just need to go for a walk. And, so he left just randomly. Walked home that night, is from all we know. And that was that from him. Another 2 of them that were a couple, and they ended up leaving in their own time. Things happen. They have their own life, which left 3, me and 2 of my mates. Now, one of them knew everyone that ever went to this place for some reason. He just was the man that knew, so he'd go off chatting to people and doing whatever, and he was trying to flirt with a girl at the same time. Now, that's all well and good, but I lost him. I was left with my other friend, who was a bit more hammered than the other one. Now, I had a few Jaeger bombs here and there, met up throughout the night, did different things, as you do. However, one time when I got left with this friend, he bumped into someone he used to know from school. Now, this person he knew from school was in the army at the time. Had just come back from Afghan, and he was arguing with this squaddy who had just come back for a week to see family as to why the Iraq war was wrong. And I was trying to say, no mate, no matter what your opinion is on anything, you cannot say to a soldier what they're doing is incorrect morally, physically, politically, however you want to phrase it. There are things you say to people and there are things you don't, and that's what you don't. So I had to rip him out of that situation before a fight kicked off, and then we continued drinking. He was trying to flirt with some girls, and I was a bit like, oh God, this is disastrous, if nothing else. But he kept trying, and I had to just be like, mate, let's go get a drink. Let's just take you away from that. At which point, he fell from the bar to basically the front door, where the door staff just sort of picked him up by the side and just chucked him out. Like, finished the trajectory he was already going. And that's the last we saw of him that night. He can't remember shit. So it was great for me to know what the fuck was going on. Then, no, it never works. You just sound like, and it depends on how in charge of your constitution you are. When I'm fairly drunk, I'm very pretty much similar to how I am now as a human. I'm a bit louder, a bit more confident, but that's it. I'm not really one that starts slurring too much. I get a bit wobbly so if I go too far, but that's about it. So we're doing that, and then it's just 2. We're down from 3 to 2. Now, that friend's managed to sort of pull a bird. She was out with a mate. I was out with my mate. So me and this other girl were just sort of sat down when them two were like making out and stuff, and it was like really awkward. So I'm trying to make like polite conversation, like, "Oh, how you doing?" And she thought I was coming on to her, and I was like, "No. I was just like, love, if we're gonna be stuck, just us two, sat pretty much watching our mates make out, might as well speak about something. Might as well try and get to know each other at least slightly." And she wasn't having any of it. So they continue on, and I'm just sort of sat there in silence, pretty much. Sort of surf my phone a bit, but at the time I didn't really be on social media that much, so I was like, a bit like, I don't really know what I'm going to do here. So I'm just sat there waiting, and then it's getting to closing time, so I sort of tag along to have a couple drinks with a couple of mates of mine, because of the Jaeger bombs that my other friend ordered was still sort of waiting, which I'd paid for because of he'd been kicked out. Yeah, so I just paid for them, got a couple friends, a couple shots with them. It's kick out time, so we all leave, and my mate gets turned down. He's like told, "No, I'm staying around with friends. I'm afraid you can't come round. Can we go back to yours?" He's like, "No, not really, because I live with my parents and it's not really ideal." And I was like, "That's fine, understandable. Not gonna argue with that." And then as we're heading down the high street, I've said goodbye to my friends, going with him to get a cab, and he's gone on ahead. Funny enough, was by a kebab shop that got shut down for a very poor hygiene rating. And he was sort of just chilling there, and I've come along, and I'm like, "You alright, mate? How you doing?" He's chatting to these 5 girls, and I don't know how he's fucking managed it, but he's just there, cracking on, having a great time. And I'm like, "Mate, what's all this about?" He's like, "Oh, I just thought I'd tell them about my girlfriend of 5 years that broke up with me." And I was like, "You've never had a girlfriend?" Like, what are you on about? And so he continues on with whatever crap he's spouting. Aww. Sweet Lilybird, thanks for the follow, appreciate that. And I tell him just straight, I'm like, "Look, you don't have to try this hard to try and impress anyone." So I get my phone out, get on the contact screen. Yes, I know the tapestry is like life. I love it so much. I got this for like nothing, basically. Thank you for the host, Lilybird. I appreciate that. Welcome in. Yeah, I got this for like a $5. It's honestly one of the best things that I think I've ever like spent money on. But yeah, I say to him, like, "Look, you don't have to try so hard to get a girl at all." I was like, "This is all you need to do." And I kept my phone out. I get it on the contact screen, give it to like one of the girls in the group, and I just say, "Can you fill out this quick survey?" Shit line, terrible, but she took it, filled it out, and gave it back to me, and was like, it'd be lovely to hear from you. So me and her continued chatting and whatever, and then talking about whatever life has. And we go Dennis's, because I'm like, I want to get food from Dennis's. Mate stood outside and waited because he got food from the other place. And I come out with my food, and he is trying to buy Coke from some random guy. And it turns out that I found out very quickly when I got told about the finances of the whole situation. I was like, it's not a substance. That's salt. He's like, wait, what do you mean? I'm like, you've just paid a £5 for a little bag of salt. There is no way this is drugs for a £5. No way. I've never had them, but this is definitely not it. And I was like, just, if you really want to try it, just put your finger in, try it. And this girl that tagged along was just like, yeah, there's no way that is. He was fucked out of his mind, to be fair, absolutely drunk, that some random other dealer came up, slapped him, said, "Are you fucking stupid? Don't ever pay a £5 for drugs in the first place, and if you do, they're probably not drugs." And I was like, he's got a point. I'm not even going to defend him on this, like tell him off for slapping my mate. I'm just, it's fucking true. Like, no one, Coke for a £5, not fucking happening, mate. So I fucking grabbed him by the scruff of the neck, was like, come on, we're going home. And I put the girl in the cab. I put matey boy, my mate, in the cab. And then I get in a different cab and we all go home, and I'm just like, oh my Lord. Like, this went from like the easiest night of my life to like babysitting multiple people. Like, and the girl I met that night, I still like share a few words with every now and again, and she's probably the coolest person I've met from the stupidest situation. From bumping into my friend trying to flirt very poorly, to me getting her number and going out with her a few times, like as like a joke, and just having a laugh. It was the craziest interaction to meet someone that was great. Thanks for watching. Now I stream live on Twitch, where I do just chatting. Also, I upload here, trying to do 4 days a week at the moment, all the way from Friday to Monday. So if you liked the video, remember to drop a like, subscribe as well. It's completely free. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.